regular meeting for Thursday, June 17, 2010 has now been called to order. This time we will have the invocation by Mr. Stelly, which will follow by the pledge. Please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, how thankful we are that you have allowed for us to come together to take care of business, to help your people. We're so glad and honored that you have given us the permission to come before you, to ask you to be our guide and to help us in the decisions we make so that we may be found acceptable in your sight. And now we lift up this jury, every member, and all of those individuals responsible for taking care of your business. The grass withers and the flowers faded away, but the word of the Lord will last forever. In the name of Jesus the Christ, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Face the flag, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir. Mr. Andropont?
Here.
Mr. Brame?
Here.
Mr. Collins?
Here.
Mr. Farnham?
Here.
Mrs. Griffin?
Present.
Mr. Hassan?
Here.
Mr. Landry?
Here.
Dr. Mackey?
Present.
Mr. McMillan?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mr. Spell?
Here.
Mr. Stelly?
Here.
Mr. Sias?
Present.
Mrs. Trimmy?
Whatever.
And President Guidry.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
You're
We
welcome.
want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and we want to just ask if there's anyone here in the audience that has a cell phone or a pager, we would ask that you would put that device to silence, please, so that we can conduct our meeting in an orderly fashion. And I would ask that if there's anyone that want to speak on any of the items, there are some blue cards to the rear of the room. We would ask that you would fill those cards out, and please bring those to the front to Ms. Jessica, and she'll have those handed to us so that we can get you on whatever item that you may want to speak on. Again, we thank you for being here. Begin the meeting. Item number 5, hold a public hearing at 5:30 as a result of a notice of intention published in accordance with LSA-RS 33.3811 to alter the boundaries of Waterworks District Number 10 and Ward 7. I would ask if there's anyone here in the audience that would like to speak on this item. Please come forward. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on that item, please come forward. I ask for a motion.
So moved.
And a second. I have a motion by Mr. Landry and a second by Mr. Size. I call on our parish administrator, Mr. Beam.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just so it's on record, the recommendation is to adopt a resolution to alter the boundaries of the district in accordance with the notice of intention that was posted. So that would be the recommended motion.
Thank you, Mr. Beam. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, number 5 passes. Number 6, the following has been advertised in accordance with the law for action to be taken at 5:30. Mr. Beam.
It'd be appropriate this time, Mr. President, to ask if there are any other bids from the audience on this item.
Are there any other bids in the audience that need to be turned in at this time? Please come forward. If there's none, I'll have Mr. Beam proceed.
We have one bid, Mr. President, from Mid-States Petroleum Company, LLC, 4400 Post Oak Parkway, Houston, Texas. Executed on the appropriate form. Cash bonus received, $200 per acre. Royalties at 21%. Recommend accepting the bid and forwarding to the State Mineral.
Move.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Ms. Trimmy and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Item number 6 passes. We're going to take up item number 7 at 6 p.m. We have a few minutes right now, so I'd ask that you would move with me to item number 8. Consideration approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the police jury dated May 20th, 2010. I have a motion by Mr. Scott and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 8 passes. Item number 9, presentation of plaques to the following parish employees who's recently retired. I have Ms. Ella Dortez, Business Career Solution Center, 32 years. I have Ms. Barbara Goodley, Business Career Solution Center, 33 years. And Ms. Jean Augustine, Workforce Investment Board, 35.5 years. We would ask that those employees would please come forth.
No.
So we just
You gonna do the first
I
two?
would ask that Ms. Griffin and Dr. Mackey.
Okay.
Missed a minute. Leave that boy alone. Cats are sticking together.
We keeping Gene, we're not letting Gene retire. We're telling him, no, we're not letting him retire.
To my colleagues and our visiting citizens of this parish, it's an honor and pleasure for us to recognize these individuals because of all of the hard work and the commitment and the loyalty to the people of Calcasieu Parish. At this time, we have presentations. Dr. Mack and I serve on the board and work diligently with them, and we've been through a lot of the decision makings that they've made, and we're proud to be a part of that. So I'm going to let Dr. Mackey read the first plaque, and I'll just stand and shake hands and take pictures.
A certificate of appreciation presented by the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury on this, the 17th day of June 2010, to Ella Dartez, Skilled Development Specialist 2 of the Business and Career Solutions Center, in recognition and appreciation for 32 years of service to the citizens of Calcasieu Parish. Congratulations and best wishes on your retirement. Thank you very much.
Also to Barbara Goodley, presented by the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury on this 17th day of June 2010, Skills Development Specialist 2 of the Business and Career Solutions Center, in recognition and appreciation of 33 years of service to the citizens of Calcasieu Parish. Congratulations and best wishes upon your retirement. Kevin, I'll give it to her.
All the congratulations. I keep forgetting about these pictures, Ms. Griffin.
Where you going?
I just want to say a few words on Miss Jean, who I've gotten to know pretty well in being an elected official here. But one of the things that really surprised me more so than anything, I didn't think that there was anybody in the parish that had as many years as Mark McMurray. 35 and a half years. Jean, let me tell you something. You've touched the lives of a lot of people, and I know you're going to truly, truly be missed. And we just want to say to you, from all of us here, if there's anything that we can do for any of you to help in any way, please feel free to come back and visit with us, Ms. Jean. But I would like to ask for Ms. Cheryl, because we seem to sometimes let people out the cracks and leave them in behind. But I would like to ask for Ms. Cheryl, who's our Human Resource Director, to please present Ms. Jean her award.
Well, I'm going to read a few little comments. I looked in Jean's folder, and it was old and moldy. And I pulled some stuff out. Anyway, I'd like to read a few comments to you. Jean Marie Tutson Augustine began working for the Gulf Assistance Program in 1970 as a clerk typist for $300 a month. Wow. She applied to work for the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury in 1974 because, according to her employment application, her current position had no job security. And so Jean was hired to work for the parish on December 16, 1974, as a social services officer. And little did she know at that time that her need for job security would lead her to a career with the police jury that would last for 35 and a half years. Now that's job security. When I came to work for the police jury in 1979, Jean was already here. I believe she was supervising the adult work experience program at that time. When I was named as the Job Training Office's director, I immediately knew who would be my assistant, my right-hand person, and of course it was Jean Augustine. We made a great team and we worked so well together, and it has remained that way for all these many years. Jean always worked for social service programs, helping those less fortunate that needed some assistance with job training or counseling, or community services to get their lives and futures back on track. The program, sponsored by the police jury, had many acronyms over the years: CEDA, JTPA, Job Match, WIA, etc. And like the many changes in the federal regulations, Jean always changed and adapted. There were years when the budget was large and the training and service programs were huge and widespread. And there were years when Congress, in its infinite wisdom, chose to downsize and reduce programs and services, and yet Jean found a way to manage and deliver a quality program. She saw many programs come and go. She saw many employees come and go. She saw insurmountable changes in state government, and still Jean worked on. She moved up through the employee ranks and held many positions over the years, such as Job Development Counselor, Public Service Employment Counselor 3, Supervisor of Placement and Assessment, Operations Manager, Director of Programs. I had to look through a lot of pages to get all these titles.
That's awesome.
JTPA Director, and finally Workforce Investment Board Director. During her tenure, the program received numerous awards and even national recognition. Calcasieu Parish's job training program was always considered exemplary, and that was due to Jean's leadership. She is so well respected within her profession and has been a true leader. And so Jean hit her 30 years of employment in 2004 and was qualified to retire. Yet she worked on. She took advantage of the DROP, Deferred Retirement Option Program plan, and participated in it for the full 3 years, from 2005 through 2008, and still she worked on. Jean experienced a serious health issue in the last couple of years, but was able to return to work after an extended absence. She always had a positive attitude, continued to direct the staff and the programs, and still she worked on. But finally, come June 30th this year, she will actually retire from parish service. I hope she gets the much-needed rest and relaxation that she deserves, and plenty of time to spend with her large and extended family, including her husband Charles, her children Natasha and Brandon, and her 2 grandchildren. And yes, she is a grandmother, if you can believe that. Jean certainly exemplifies the true definition of a dedicated public servant and a role model for parish employees in the future. I have had the privilege of continuing to coordinate and work in some capacity with Jean for the entire duration of both of our employment histories with the parish. I'm proud to call her my friend. All of us here tonight, thank you for your devotion to your work and your 30 years of service to the citizens of Calcasieu Parish, and we will genuinely miss you.
For a hand. And so now, Jean, on behalf of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury, and that was an awesome farewell address that Cheryl gave, because when you work with someone for that long and have all those good things to say about you, you know that that person did a well job, and we appreciate that. So this is presented by the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury on this 17th day of June 2010 to Jean M. Augustine, Director of the Workforce Investment Board, in recognition and appreciation of 35.5 years of service to the citizens of Calcasieu Parish. Congratulations and best wishes on your retirement.
Wow.
Jean's mother and my mother were dear friends, and Jean's birthday, her mother used to make me laugh all the time, and she said things like, "I knew you before you came here because your mom and I were pregnant at the same time."
Love it.
So Jean's birthday is on the 5th of June, and my birthday is on the 6th of July. So we've been through a lot. Nevertheless, I would appreciate my colleagues to give her another standing ovation.
Mr. President, can I say something?
Yes, Ms. Trimmy, you have the floor.
Gene, did we run into each other somewhere?
Yes, ma'am.
We ran into each other in MD Anderson. You know how big a place that is. And that was unbelievable. I was so glad to see her. And you look awesome. You're a $1 million lady. And I just want to let you know that we all love you. We love you ladies that's been there for so long. I don't know what we're going to do without you, be truthful with you. But I just made a quick ticker tape deal, and I hope I added right, because I'm not really good at adding. But what we're looking at here is 100.5 years of experience. 100.5 years of experience just with these ladies leaving Calcasieu Parish. You can't buy experience. You can't sell experience. You either have it or you don't. And I just appreciate all of you for all the years of service that you have given to this parish. And Calcasieu Parish appreciates you. We as jurors all appreciate all the hard work you've all done. And the leadership, Dean, has just been terrific. And you gave me, you know, when I had some hurdles to jump and that type of thing, you're the one that said you can do it. Get with it. You can do it. So I just want to thank you for that. And I know you have some things to say, so I'd like to listen to what you have to say.
I promised I wasn't going to get emotional, but I would just like to say that these past 35.5 years of employment with the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury has been most rewarding to me, knowing that I have played a small part in improving the lives of the residents of Calcasieu, Cameron, and Jeff Davis Parish fills my heart with joy. I'm grateful to the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury and administration for the support that they have given me over these past years. It has truly been a pleasure working here. I've tried my best to be a loyal and dedicated employee. There has not been a day that I've regretted my job. I've always viewed working here as a gift and a blessing from God. When I was offered this job, I was asked how much did I make, and at that time I really couldn't say. I knew that I received a paycheck every 2 weeks and it paid the bills, and that was okay with me. Now, I'm not saying that money is not important, because it is. But also what's important is what you do for the money, and that is what counts. I have a passion and a strong drive for what I do. And with this said, I would like to give a quote from Roy Lessing, which says, "The passions, values, and ideas that motivate us in our life can also inspire us in the workplace. Finding a way to use our gifts and talents, express our creativity, develop our character, build relationships, and feel the satisfaction of a job well done will not only produce a paycheck, but also a fulfilling life. For me, a fulfilling life is what it's all about. And to know that you have helped someone along the way is most important. My little motto, may the works I've done speak for me." I would also like to extend sincere thanks to Cheryl Heiser, who has been a great supervisor, mentor, and friend. I will always cherish, and I am deeply grateful for her encouragement, professional mentoring, and strong personal example. In addition, I would like to thank the Calcasieu Workforce Investment Board for their support over the past years. We've made significant progress through their actions, decisions, and policies in helping many job seekers afford access to the tools they need to manage their careers through information and high-quality services, and to help our business community find skilled workers. We have faced many challenges in providing workforce development services for our residents. The future has even more challenges for you with shrinking budgets and high unemployment rates and now the current oil spill. But because of their dedication, being a strong business-led board, and public and private partnerships, I know they will endure. To my family, my husband and my children, I thank you for the support that you have given me, because there have been many days and many nights that I could have been or should have been at home with my family, but I was at the office working. Again, I would like to thank my family and friends who came out this evening to support me here. And again, to the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury and the Workforce Investment Board, thank you and good luck to you as you work together to make Calcasieu Parish a great place to work and live. Thank you.
We thank you, Ms. Jean, for that. You will truly be missed.
The tools that you just heard Ms. Augustine talk about, where we provide services to clients, may it be child care assistance, financial assistance to go to training, whatever the case may be, for us to provide a trained workforce. These two ladies right here, Ms. Barbara Goodley and Ella D'Artes, worked as frontline staff, and they made sure that all the tools needed for these clients that we have were met. So I'm here tonight to say thank you for your dedication and your loyalty and your unconditional contributions that you've made to this community. Thank you.
Thank you, again, all of you. Mr. Bean.
Mr. President, just if you would, let me take just a moment. I, too, want to add my name to the list of admirers to Ms. Augustine. We have had the chance to get to know each other better, especially over the last couple of years, and she's a truly remarkable woman, as you all know, not only for her commitment here at the parish, but what she's gone through with her illness and keeping that job going at the same time. And she's somebody that I've really come to admire and appreciate, and I want to add my name to that list. I also thought we could take this opportunity while Ms. Simeon is here. Stephanie Simeon has been appointed the new WIB director effective July 1 upon Jean's retirement, and we want to congratulate her. She's going to do a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. With that being said, we'll move on to item number 10. Take appropriate actions on applications for liquor and beer permits. Mr. Vickers.
Mr. President, we have one liquor and beer permit and one special event permit.
I have a motion by Ms. Griffin and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 10 passes. Item number 11, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the issuance, sales, and delivery by the Calcasieu Parish Public Trust Authority not to exceed $3 million of its recovery zone facility revenue bond. Mr. Beam.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is actually a very good news story. I'm going to allow in a moment Mr. Delafield to go ahead and explain it, but basically this is funding that is allocated through the ARRA, or the stimulus funding out of the federal government, and it allows parishes and counties to utilize these funds for financing purposes for private development, and we have a good candidate in this, which we feel like would be great to recommend police jury approve tonight. And I'll let Mr. Delafield explain what the police jury's role is in this and what the project is.
For the record, my name is Jay Delafield. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 permitted Calcasieu Parish to allocate $11.3 million in stimulus money to various private projects. Rick Richard, who's with me here, is designing and going to develop a multiple occupant office building in the old Alvin King office right across the street from here. And I'd let him describe the project to you, but under the stimulus package, you have $11.3 million. We've only had 2 inquiries, essentially, to take up some of that. And it's not really money, it's just an allocation that the Internal Revenue Service permits you to make to his project for purposes of tax-exempt financing. I'll be happy to address any questions, but the Calcasieu Parish Public Trust Authority has been doing this since 1979. This is another private project. It's a good project. It'll produce employment and tax base for the parish and the city. If you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to address them.
Thank you. State your name and address for the
Rick Richard, 1301 Shelby's Drive, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm currently the director, chairman of the Downtown Development Commission, and also on the Lake Charles North Development Authority. I really want to get something done and get something moving and put people to work, and the stimulus bill has allowed this allocation of this building that I've designed on the corner of Kirby and Ryan. You might have seen the sign up there to get it built earlier than later. And I really want to break ground on it, and this from the allocation from federal government, if the police jury so approves the allocation, I'd like to turn dirt immediately and put people to work. It's a local contractor that's doing the work. It's a local architect that's doing the work. And it's, there's a picture of it up there. You can see where the parish courthouse statue is and the Immaculate Conception Church. It would wrap around the corner there, and it's a multi-use building that would hold perhaps office space and such. I've actually put in 2 condos to see if there's any attraction for people to perhaps move downtown to fill the streets up a little bit. We'll wait and see if that will attract them, but we're ready to go with the building.
We do have questions from the jury.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Trimmy.
Yes, Mr. Richard, thank you for coming to us with this. I mean, anything to enhance our parish and to enhance Lake Charles, which enhances all of Calcasieu Parish, to do a project like this, and I know it's not going to be easy. Would you mind, because I've never met you before. My name is Sandy. Nice to meet you, Rick.
Same here, ma'am.
Okay. But I've heard good things about you. And would you mind enlightening me on some of the other projects that you've done? Is it true that you did the old, is it cash and carry, or the old, that building on Enterprise and Broad?
Yes, ma'am. I have.
What did you do to that? I mean, I know it's awesome.
It's a great part of Lake Charles history. It was the precursor to Sam's, really. It was the wholesale where a lot of independent grocers would go and buy their supplies. And in fact, there was a number of people when we started to redo it that came and told stories about how they used to buy all their supplies there. And so it's got a great history. Currently, it's operating as an event center. We had a small opening of a farmer's market there Tuesday last night. No announcement. 30 people showed up with some people who sell their fruits and vegetables locally. And we've also got state approval to put it on the National Historic Trust, which they say after the state approves it goes to Washington. It's a pretty good idea that it will be a National Registry item as well. I own the old Calcasieu Marine Bank building, which we've turned into an event center as well. Again, trying to attract people into the heart of the city from all over the parish to see if we can, jumpstart some economic development.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. Thank you
ma'am.
for all that you've put into it, and we're glad to have you back home.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy. Can I get a motion to accept the report? I have a motion by Mr. Guy and a second by Dr. Mackey. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item passed. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming. Do appreciate it. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to go back. I'd ask that you would move back with me to item number 7, so we can take up a 6 o'clock action at this time. Item number 7, hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. as a result of notice provided to the owners of property described below in accordance with Article 2, Chapter 6 of the Code of Ordinance of the Parish of Calcasieu, Louisiana, ordering said owners to show cause as to why the structures on said properties should not be condemned. This time I call on Mr. David Robertson, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, members of the jury. Our first structure on the agenda tonight is 7454 Blanco Lane. This is in the South Lake Charles area. It's one manufactured home. The owner is Michael Wayne Lovelady, and we recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Scott and a second by Mr. Landry. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to come and speak on this item, please come forward. If there's anyone here in the audience that would like to, we do have someone. Ma'am, did you fill out one of the blue cards? Okay, come on up, ma'am. We'll just state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Say my name.
Yes, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please.
Mandy Fontenot, 7453 Debbie Lane. I live behind this facility right here on the
Yes,
Blanco
ma'am.
Lane.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, not to throw against Rita card, but I lost my trailer in Rita in '05, and I had 30 days to remove my trailer. It was still together. It just had flipped, upside down. And I just myself, I've had problems with him. He'd let the grass grow real tall to where I'd have to worry about rodents and snakes coming in my yard. One time to take away the trees that were coming up with the fences because it was pulling up the fence, he caught it on fire. We had to worry about that and worrying about my house getting caught on fire. So he tore the fence down, and he didn't have a fence around the oxidation pond. I have a 10-year-old son that I was worried about. I couldn't let him play in our own backyard for fear that he would fall into the oxidation pond.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Hold on a minute, ma'am. Yes, Mr.
I
Landry.
was just going to let her know, it's been condemned. We've already condemned it.
Oh,
I think that's what you're wanting to make sure that it's happened. So, and we've
I was
already-
just told that we just should try to do something because,
Yes, ma'am. It's being taken care of.
oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
condemn it.
That's all right.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
okay. I mean,
No, we just thought
You
that
can
it was
keep
something,
going
we didn't
if
know
you
what it
want,
was that you
but-
wanted to say, so we wanted to make sure we heard what it was that you wanted to say tonight.
Okay, well, it was just, again, the matter of you try to keep up with your property and whatnot.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right, we have a motion and a second on 7.1. Move on to item 7.2. Mr. Robertson.
Mr. Guidry, Mr. Lovelady has just walked in, and he would like to address the jury.
Okay. Which item is that, Mr. Robinson? Is that still on?
Yeah.
7.1 still? Okay. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Michael Lovelady, 7454 Blanco Lane.
Go ahead, sir. You've got the floor.
Okay. I understand that my property's been on the finalized being condemned, but I have been ill in the past. I've got a contractor who's come over and looked at the property. He's told me it'll take about $3,000 to $5,000 to fix the house up, the trailer, where it's livable. And I don't have the money to rebuild from scratch. $3,000 to $5,000 I can come up with to fix the trailer up where it's livable. And my contractor's here right now, if you want to talk to him.
Okay, let me refer it back to my, Mr. Robinson. My understanding is, from what Mr. Landry stated, it's done. Am I right, Mr. Robinson?
Well, if you look at the pictures that we've provided with you, the structure is in severe condition. My inspector that went in there, he almost went through the floor in one part of it. And it's been like this for a while. It's very unsanitary, very unsafe.
Okay. Being that there's no more action, we would, go ahead, Mr.
David, was it since Rita?
I think so, yeah. Some of it was since Rita. So this has been almost, it's been over 4 years it's been like this.
Just hold on just a minute, y'all. We're going to recess for 5 minutes, please. At this time, we would like to convene our meeting. Just want to say to the general public, I know that you guys may have seen a little bit of delay in our broadcast, but due to one of our employees, Mr. Claude Smart, had a little bit of a seizure, and we wanted to make sure that he received the attention that was needed. And It's always something that we really don't like to deal with, but he's okay. He's off to the hospital now, and we're going to keep him in our prayers. And we'll just ask that you would please take a minute of silence so that we could just offer a small prayer to his family and himself. And we thank you for that, and we hope that Mr. Smart will be back and moving as soon as possible. Again, we thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and move on back to number 7, 7.1. I would ask for a motion to reconsider. Is there a motion that I can get from the jury to reconsider on 7.1? There is no motion to reconsider. Motion failed. Will be under condemnation. Moving on to 7.2. Mr. Robertson.
7.2 is 2514 Evergreen Road. This is in the Westlake area. Lot 64 has been removed. Lot 52 is still on the premises. There's one manufactured home. The owner is Lewis Joseph Frederick. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
I have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Is there any objection? Do we have a speaker on that item? Okay. Hearing none. 7.
Clarification. Mr. President, I think the gentleman in the audience is not aware of what just happened. Would you explain to him, please, because he's still waiting?
Yes. On what item, sir, were you?
7.1.
7.1. Mr. Robinson, could you explain to the gentleman that it's been condemned? We asked for a motion to reconsider. There was none.
I have a contractor here to talk for reconsideration. He will explain what needs to be done.
If it's okay with the jury, would you mind if the gentleman come to the mic and? It's already been. That's what I wanted to let the gentleman know, that action has already been taken on that matter, sir. So it's up for condemnation.
I really don't get a say. I mean, I had just a little bit, and I brought a contractor up here to talk to y'all. I mean, I've got everything invested in this place, and I've got somebody.
Sir, could you mind come to the mic, and we just want to hear what it is that you have to say.
I have my money invested in this place, and I understand my neighbors are having some problems. But I have been ill, and my contractor, and I can bring up a bunch of people to explain that, but I have a contractor up here that I brought out of pocket that can explain how much it will cost and what it will take to fix this place, that it's not completely condemnable. And yet you won't even listen to him?
Well, sir, action that was taken on this matter was at 6 p.m. Your contractor was not
I was here at 6:02. I came in as the lady was talking.
We asked for a vote to reconsider. There was none by the jury. It's got to go for condemnation, sir. That's all I can tell you. I mean, we asked for a vote to reconsider. There was not one juror up here felt that it could go up for reconsider. So therefore, it's...
Mr. Landry is supposed to be my police juror. And I know that he's heard from my neighbors, but he has yet once bothered to contact me with any of the problems with my neighbors.
Right. I understand. Let me let Mr. Landry express himself on that matter for you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Landry.
Actually, it doesn't work that way. If I get a call from someone, no matter whether they're calling about you or anybody else, sometimes people don't even tell me their name, which is okay. I write down what the problem is. I turn the call in. They have a work order. The folks go out there. Either there's something to it or there's not. If somebody's in violation, they write them up, send them a letter, and that starts the thing, and it either gets cleaned up or it doesn't. I don't call the person or the people that they're calling me, because a lot of times I don't even know who they are. I've personally gone out to your house before, and we've talked before. But, yeah, I do. I get a lot of phone calls about this particular address. I mean, I've had a number of times. I do the same thing. Sometimes they go out there.
From the same two people.
Sometimes they go out there and they find stuff, and sometimes they don't. Other times they've gone out there and they've asked you to clean stuff up, and you've done it. And I don't think they really hadn't written you up. I think they've worked pretty well with you.
Mr. Robinson has been very good. But what I'm saying is, I have a home that I can rebuild or remodel for between $3,000 and $5,000. I've got a contractor who works for the parish, works in the parish, that has told me this. If I have to tear this home down, it's going to cost me more than that. Plus, it's going to cost me a lot more to replace it. Now, I don't know any of you, and I'm sure y'all in better shape than I am, but wouldn't you fight to try and keep your home for $5,000?
I mean, honestly, from those pictures, I don't see how that can be fixed for $5,000.
If you were to come out there today, for the last 3 days, I have taken everything out of the trailer that I can take out to the law that doesn't says that I'm remodeling. I have cleaned up the yard. I've hauled 3 trailer loads of stuff that's valuable to me, but because of this point in time, I can't put my hands on it when I need it. It's considered trash to other people. But if you were to come out there and inspect it today, it's not the same place that those pictures are showing. And like I said, all I'm asking is that you listen to my contractor for 2 minutes.
I mean, I don't have a
and then take a
problem
revote
up there, but I don't know that he's going to change their mind.
Well, I don't know that.
The motion was made and all that happened before y'all even got here.
We was here. We came in when the last lady was talking.
So to undo that, somebody else is going to have to make a motion to undo that and uncondemn it.
Well, I'm asking
That's
somebody to
what
please
Mr.
do
President
that.
had asked for somebody to do. I don't have a problem if it's okay with the president. Your contractor
I asked
can
for a
come
motion
up.
to
but-
reconsider. There was none by the jury, therefore, motion failed. We move on to the next item, sir. I'm sorry.
I mean, if it's okay with
If-
you, Mr. President, I'm not opposed to the
If it
contractor
pleases the
coming out.
jury,
Maybe
I'll
he'll
ask-
say something that's going to change
I'll
eight
ask that the
people's mind
contractor
up
come
here.
up and give us 2 minutes to maybe verse us on what the situation is at that
I'll second that motion.
property. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Please
Actually,
state your name and record for the,
We need a little time to see if we can, I'm going to I'm sorry, Edward Kelly,
name and address for the record.
7353 Debbie
Thank you,
Lane.
sir. You may proceed.
We're trying to clean this thing up inside, and it does have a rotten floor, and it needs to be, we need to yank some paneling off the wall and see if it is. I believe, I'm more than sure that it's savable because we save worse stuff than that. I know it's kind of an eyesore, and you know, if you could have another week or so, just you know, we're hauling stuff out of it right now to make sure we can save it. And he can paint the outside. It is in an unrestricted area. There's nice houses behind it and in front of it and on the side of it, but it can be cleaned up and straightened up and appropriate.
Thank you, sir. I'll ask again, I'll refer to Mr. Landry. Would he like to make a motion to change what's on the floor originally?
I mean, personally, I'm not going to, but I mean, you know.
Okay.
There's 14 other people that may,
I'll-
but
I'll
I mean,
actually-
I'm not going to fight them if that's what they choose to do. I want to look in the record and,
If we could just have 14 days.
I mean, and if I may, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr.
Comment the 14 days and all the work that's been done this week, but if you look in this paperwork, this goes back, when did you first contact them, Mr. Robinson? It looks like back in early May. Some of it goes back to March.
That's correct.
I mean, you know, a lot of time's already passed, and then it's like right at the very last minute, something's trying to be done. Had all that been done at the beginning, and they kept in contact with you and saw all these improvements, that definitely would be better.
He didn't have my money. That's what it was. He didn't have the financial assistance. I'm assisting him financially on that.
Okay, but some of the stuff that he said he's done, he's done on his own, and he's cleaned up, and he's did different things that doesn't really cost anything.
Right.
So not all of it cost.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. Mr. Stelly.
If we went ahead on and condemned it tonight, how long would it be before it would be removed from the property?
30 days.
So we can condemn it tonight. If he makes any progress in 2 weeks,
Could we get somebody to come take a picture of it?
well, I mean,
Or
you know,
who
are we to say that he can't spend $5,000 on this particular trailer house if that's what he chooses? If he makes progress in the next couple of weeks, well, then we can rescind the condemnation and let him proceed. If he's not done in 60 days, then tear it down.
All right.
But continue with the condemnation tonight. I mean, it's his investment, not ours.
Right. Well, if, you know, in about 10 days, we'll have it completely gutted and everything, you know, because I'm more than sure that the floor is savable and everything.
Well, the problem is that it's been like that for so long, and then people just get to a point where they've
Right.
had enough.
But,
And
you know, like...
right at the midnight hour, you're over here asking for more time, and I can understand that. And I can also say that, you know, I think it's your or his problem if he wants to spend that much money on this trailer house, but he's got to proceed with something. That's the problem. There's been no action, you see. So if you continue, this is my opinion, there's 14 other people here, but in my opinion is if you go ahead and proceed and try to get this thing done and make it presentable, which is the problem. It's not presentable, it's not safe.
Well, we're cleaning up I'm getting all the debris and everything cleaned up and hauled off, and I'm paying for the dump fees. And he's got some structure over there. We're gonna pull it down, and we're gonna stack it up. And it's, you know, this is all something that's gonna happen anyway, whether the trailer goes or not. But if the trailer is savable, and we're gonna tear into it and see. And we'd just like to let, you know, 14 days, maybe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Stelly. At this time, I'll call on legal counsel. Mr. Alan Smith, please.
Mr. President, members of the jury, Mr. Stelly is correct. You all have condemned it, and it must be torn down and removed in 30 days. Now, if in the next 15 or 20 days they make substantial progress towards restoring this to a building which is no longer condemnable, Mr. Robinson will check on it, and he can come back in here and make a motion at the next meeting that you all reconsider, and then you can uncondemn it. But there's no reason to change anything tonight. He's got 30 days before he has to do anything. If they use it diligently, working on it and fixing it up where it's a livable place, then that's a judgment for your planning department to make and advise you.
Mr. Robbins, could you come and basically explain to the gentleman that if substantial progress is not made within those 14 days, that the property will go like we did tonight, took action on, that it will be condemned, so that he can be clear on that matter, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, I mean, we can either go 14 or 30 days. It's really going to be up to y'all, but, you know, I guess I'm injecting my personal opinion in here, but I don't know if it's really going to be cost effective to do this. Maybe they can, but.
So, Mr. Robinson, just to be clear with the gentleman, any money that's spent on this project, if it's not up to code,
it could be lost.
Where Mr. Robinson feels that it needs to pass inspection, that's money down the drain. Okay, we just want to be clear on this. We want to make sure that you understand what it is that you're asking for tonight. Okay, I have a few more jurors that want to comment on this matter. Mr. Spell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just general question. These projects typically uncover a lot more as they go on. What happens if the 5,000 turns into 15? Are you prepared to address that?
Good question.
Right now, what we're really doing is we're tearing into it. We're taking all the cabinets out. We're pulling all the rotten wood off the particle board off the floor. We're going to take a look at that trailer and see if it's even worth anything. It may be full of termites, but we want a chance to see. And, you know, a little bit of sheetrock, you know, because it's already, as far as fixing the floor, you know, probably take about 30 sheets of plywood to fix, because only part of where you walk in the door needs to be repaired. We're going to take, you know, we're taking a look at it, you know, but we really just need to get in there and take some of the stuff off the walls. Even if it's going to be torn down, more than likely we're going to have to tear it down. So what we're tearing down, we're hauling off. So we're just actually gaining a little more ground. You know, one way or another, something's going to happen, and probably it may have to be torn down.
Okay.
But we're just really going to gut it and see if the frame's worth anything.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Mr.
Spell.
President.
Mr. Scott.
Mr. Vickers, the electrical on this, is it going to have to be up to codes, or does it depend on how much he tears into that?
I'm sure it would have to be upgraded, yes.
So I think $5,000 it's going to take just to get the electrical, I mean, I'm not against him spending money on it. If that's what he wants to do, that is his right. But doing construction every day, I don't see, like I said, just getting electrical up to code. Now, he can do it himself. The next question is, he can't even start doing anything else to it till he comes in and gets permits and shows what he's going to do electricals, what he's going to do plumbing, what he's going to do walls. So how many days is it going to take him to get in here and actually pull some permits to begin that kind of work?
Well, I think, like the gentleman said, he's going to have to complete his demolition first, and then we'll look at it and make an assessment.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Mr. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. President. These situations like this, I really want to protect you from yourself, because I got a bad feeling. You're going to spend all this money, and it's just going to be like a pit. You're just going to throw it in there, and then I've seen so many people that's happened to, and they got the best intentions in the world, and it just doesn't work out that way. And then they've spent that money, and it's for nothing, and then it's still condemned, and they're not able to fix it for what they thought. I mean, it happens all the time. And he mentioned he's tearing out cabinets. Shouldn't he have a permit right now, Mr. Robinson, if he's tearing out cabinets?
We haven't torn any out yet.
Mr. Robinson.
Well, I must have misunderstood you, because I thought you said that you did.
That's it.
If he's doing any kind of work on the structure, he needs to have a valid permit.
Cleanup permit? We're cleaning up
Demolition.
You know, it's just, I just got to, this is not going to go good. I mean, you're just going to spend money, and it's just going to be wasted. I really believe that.
Mr. President,
Wait, Mr. Bean.
I think you've done a good job advising the gentleman about his options. You all made it clear on the timeline, and you made your motion.
Okay.
I don't know that there's anything that else needs to be communicated. He's aware of his obligations and the timeline.
Yes. I appreciate that, Mr.
If you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Vickers on any procedures between
Right.
now and then.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on back to item 7.2. We were on?
That's already had action.
No action required. So we'll move on to 7.3.
Yeah, we've already condemned the lot number 52 at 2514 Evergreen Road. We have condemned it to be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Okay. I do have a speaker on 7.3, Mr. Devin Stargell.
Mr. President, move to discuss.
I have a motion to discuss by Mr. Spell and a second by Mr. McMillan. You have the floor, Mr. Devin.
Thank you very much. My name is Devin Stargell. I currently live at 8510 Thompson Lane, Louisville, Kentucky. However, I do own the property at 737 Deborah Lane, and I did reside there until 2001, at which time I took a job out of state. My spouse at the time we separated, she stayed in the property. It is still in both of our names. Our agreement was that in lieu of child support that I pay for the property. A little bit of history on this. Most of you were probably affected by Hurricane Rita, and such is the case with this property. I wasn't expecting this type of formal gathering tonight, so please bear with me if I'm a little bit shaky or nervous. But with Hurricane Rita, it took over 6 months just to get an insurance inspector out there, at which time they did nothing more than basically a drive-by. The insurance allotment was $7,000. Not even enough to make the necessary repairs for the roof. I lost over $12,000 worth of fencing. Along comes the Road Home program, 2006. We immediately filed for the Road Home program. They were leading us to believe the house is more than 51% damaged. You will receive $150,000. Plus, since she was filing as a sole resident and low income, since she had lost her job at the casinos due to the storm, she was going to get an additional $50,000. I think that was the number. It took 2 years. It was summer 2008 before we got a response back from the Road Home, and the amount that they were originally awarding was $23,000. That's a far cry from the $150,000 that they led us to believe. Which time I appealed it. Another year plus goes by. They've lost our paperwork. This happened numerous times. Change of handlers handling the case, loss of paperwork, setbacks. It was an absolute bungled mess. We're one of those persons who have just fallen between the cracks as far as the road home. Maybe if we were resident here the entire time, because my spouse in 2000 and I believe it was 7 was offered a job out of state up close to where I live, and of course she took that, which time she left the house vacant while we waited on the road home. I put her up in my property that my parents had owned after they passed away, or that I own after they passed away. And we waited for the road home. And we waited. And we waited. Even after the appeals process, it wasn't until December 30th, 2009, that the final grant award of just under $28,000 went to the title company. So what I've been doing for the past several months is, one, trying to find out what my options are. If I can sell the house for what I owe on it, the buyer is entitled to sign in for those road home grants. Somebody local is more apt to be able to fix it than somebody 800 miles away. I could do a lot of the work if I were present. I've done that work. But that's not the case. I have been able to contact a local contractor. I spoke with him today. We were out there reviewing the site today. Told him my situation. He says we have roughly $28,000 to spend. Those funds are now available. All I have to do is come back, sign the road home grant money. It takes 10 days from the date of signing to get that money. The contractor has now stated that he can start work within roughly a week of getting those funds available and be done in 3 to 4 weeks. Now, it's not going to completely fix the property, but what it's going to do is it's going to fix the structural issues. It's going to fix the roof. I have a breakout of what I'm sorry, if I would have known it was going to be this formal, I would have insisted that he be here this evening. The gentleman's name is Brian Vanderlick from Get It Fixed LLC. For his proposal, he has the termite company coming out and treating any of the areas for termites, removing the debris, the damaged sheetrock, the insulation, the areas that have allowed water to ingress and begin to fall. Repair the upstairs wall, which has the majority of the damage. That's what's allowing the water to come into the house. That's causing all of the actual problem. Replace the roof. Repair the interior beam that's now exposed, that's received a number of, quite a bit of water damage. Replace any broken windows that were a result of vandalism. Replace the damaged French door, or replace the damaged slider door with French doors. Basically, get this entire structure sealed up, structurally sound, and ready for final finishing, hanging sheetrock, insulation, painting, flooring. My goal at this point is to complete those things so that I can turn around and actually sell this house to someone who's willing to take on, a little work. I'll sell this thing at below market value. These people will then be able to come in, buy the property, and have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of equity quickly.
Mr. Starger, I have a few jurors that would like to comment on
Sure.
what it is that you're discussing. Can I receive a motion to discuss at this point?
There is
There is a motion to discuss. Mr. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. President. You did say at the beginning that you had insurance.
Yes.
They just chose not to pay you.
Yep.
Or not enough. That sounds like my story. We could exchange stories. I would tell you the name of mine, but I guess I won't do that. not since it's on television. I would love to.
Well, there's another half to
Anyway,
that, too.
Have you filed suit against them?
Against the
insurance company?
Oh, no. No.
Okay. Just
I didn't realize that was even.
Sure, sue them.
Yeah.
You had an agreement with them. You had insurance. You paid your insurance premiums.
The person I should be probably suing is my former spouse, because those funds were actually turned over to her to address a lot of this, and it didn't happen.
So they paid you, and you accepted that as the final payment.
I assumed that that's all they were going to offer.
That wasn't good. Anyway, road home, perhaps, Brian, is there someone here on the staff after the meeting tomorrow, next week, sometimes possibly could make a phone call to road home and have someone review his case one last time? Because obviously,
doing that.
you can look at these pictures, and that's not $28,000 worth of damage. It's much higher than that.
And you know what? The damage probably would not have been as severe had the road home gotten off their tails.
Sure, it got
and
worse
made this a
because it continued to rain.
But they have it in their clause that they're not responsible for further damage incurred.
One last question to you. You mentioned a contractor. Is he a Louisiana contractor, and does he have a license?
Yes, sir, he is.
So
He's also a member of the Better Business Bureau and Andrews List here.
I'm just trying to protect you because
No, I looked at that, and what we are
things
talking
seem their
about,
worst, they can get even worse than that. People will take your money from you.
before we move on to an actual construction type performance, everything is going to be defined and it's going to be flat bid, so that we have a set amount to be spent and a set job scope to be adhered to.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. Mr. Spell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Stargell, thank you for being here and speaking on the issue. I'll be plain. It's my personal opinion. I do not think, and there are probably people that will disagree with me, and that's okay. I do not think this is salvageable. I've seen some pictures of the structural damage, and it's in pretty bad shape. I would be willing to bet that to get this house to a point to where it wouldn't be a lemon on the market, you're going to be spending a lot more than $28,000 because of the structural damage that I've seen. And we just kind of went through this discussion. My concern is you putting a lot of your own funds into restoring this structure and then selling it, and then we might be back here with another owner with the same problem. So that's my concerns. However, I don't object to giving people a chance, but I guess I would say that I would like to see that we proceed along the same lines of the case that we just got through hearing, which is see some progress within the next 30 days. Another thing, it's my understanding that we have estimates that there's about over 50% restoration necessary on this residence.
I think that's a bit extreme, but
okay.
I do understand. Those values were not in use by either FEMA nor the road home at the time that any of these initial grants were put into place.
You are aware that over 50%, you have to come into 100% compliance with current code.
I would assume that the contractor is aware of that.
Okay.
I cannot speak for the contractor since he is not here. He has voiced that he thinks it is very much salvageable for the funds that we were speaking of. We're not talking about going in and complete, at the time, we were addressing only the major issues. Now, things such as plumbing, the only thing I'm aware of with the plumbing that needs to be addressed were the mechanical sewers, and that was part of his quote, was replacing them. They've always been a problem since I lived there.
Well, Mr. Stargell, it's very important for me to be fair to you. This is in District 1, which is a district I represent. I can tell you that I took office about 2.5 years ago. I got phone calls on this house.
Oh, sure.
2.5 years ago. I also represent your neighbors, and I have to be fair to them as well. I have no objections, if my colleagues are in agreement, I have no objections into giving you the 30 days. And if there is substantial progress made on addressing these renovations that are required, then we could readdress it at another 30-day period. But, I mean, I think we need to see some progress in the next 30 days. That's my personal opinion.
That would be fine if I had the funds today. As I explained, the problem with the road home is I have to travel back down here and appear in person to sign the paperwork to close on the road home. Now, that is available at the Team Title Company in Baton Rouge. I can do that, but I also have a job that I have to work, and I have to work in a schedule that allows me to travel back down here. From the time I sign the paperwork, it's 10 business days until those funds become available. So we are looking at 3 to 4 weeks if that were to happen today. And they're not ready for me to sign today. They're not prepared for that. I'm going to have to make another trip back down here, whether that be in 2, 3 weeks, whatever. I have to work that into my schedule, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get this moving and going the right direction. I'm 800 miles away. That's my dilemma.
If I can, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr. Spell. You still have the floor.
Question. If what is necessary is over the amount that you have allocated from road home, how will you address that issue? Let's, instead of 28, it's 50 or 75. What then?
I haven't expected that. I'm already into a mortgage with a balance owed of about $65,000.
Okay.
Now, the properties in that area are probably worth $150,000. Now, putting $30,000 worth of road home money into it is very doable. My goal was to bring it up to a point to where a buyer could then put in a small amount of their own. They would be in a better position to buy a house at $70,000 or $80,000, put in another $10,000 to $20,000, have a $150,000 home with a significant amount of equity for, $100,000. I think that was a fair approach.
Mr. President, I mean, I'm want to be fair to Mr. Storgill. I'm willing to give him a chance. I don't think you're going to make it, but I would say that if we can have some demonstration that funding has been secured, and I think we need to see some construction estimates that would meet the criteria of restoring the home to code because of the 50% damage. If those things can be substantiated and demonstrated within the next 30 days, I think that we can work with them on a step-by-step basis. But Mr. Storgill, with respect, I would advise to proceed cautiously because
my concern is with the 50% damage criteria. This is something that just came up tonight.
Well,
this has not been known to me until just now. So that dramatically affects my ability to be able to necessarily fund certain things.
Well, my motion, Mr. Storgill, I'll make a motion to defer for 30 days.
Second.
And I think that will give us time to let you work with staff and let us get a better handle on what exactly is going to be required. But, Mr. Storgill, I'm in a position where I need to make sure that I take the overall need of the community. And we need to make sure that if it can be addressed, it's addressed quickly. I want to give you that chance. So a motion to defer for 30 days.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Spell. I have a motion by Mr. Spell and a second by Ms. Trimmy. At this time, let me refer to Mr. Jimmy Vickers, please.
Yeah, and let me direct this to Mr. Stargell is that if I'm not mistaken, that if you accept road home monies, sometimes they put a restriction that house cannot be resold for 3 years. So you need to follow back up on that particular.
That is not the case. The covenant runs with the land. It can be transferred any number of times within that 3-year span. The date for the 3-year duration starts from the date that the grant is first accepted. It can go through any number of hands so long as the party who buys the property understands that there is a covenant held against it by the road home, that the property has a 3-year period to be brought up to livable conditions, and that they agree to those stipulations. Otherwise, they pay. They reimburse the road home.
Be sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I have clarified that with them. That's how they explained it to me.
Mr. Spell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, the purpose of the 30 days is for us to cross all them Ts and dot all them Is. So I would just
Now, if you can give me more money from the road home, I'd greatly appreciate it.
I doubt that, but I would just strongly encourage to optimize use of that 30 days.
Right.
And hopefully it works out for you. So I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Starger, let me just clarify a little bit of what's been said tonight, because I know a lot's been said from Mr. Landry to Mr. Spell to Mr. Vickers and to Mr. David. You're going to have 30 days to get this property up to code, and whatever money that you invest in this property, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not up to code within those 30 days, and I know that you have a work schedule that sometimes doesn't permit you to be where you need to be to get these matters taken care of.
With respect, sir, I don't think that was what they were saying. I think they have 30 days to begin to.
Defer. Okay. The motion is to defer for 30 days?
Yes.
Okay, until you can get the proper means to what you need.
To show I can get
Contractors, whatever.
funding and get that
Okay.
rolling the right direction. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you talked about road home. I would advise you to talk to Ms. Claire Thomas that we have that work with us. She does a lot of grant funding and stuff like that with road home. I would ask that you would probably speak with her before you leave tonight, just to get some clarification.
Now, FEMA did contact me just recently saying that there may be up to $100,000 of additional funding through them. Again, that could be a year-long process. I don't have another year.
Okay. Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to clarify one thing. I heard you talking about fixing it up enough to let somebody else invest some money into it, and I don't think that's what we're after here. We're after a repaired house. One time, when it's repaired fully. And from what I'm hearing you say is that you wanted to get it in a state to where you could sell it to somebody else and then let them pick up some repairs further down the line, and I don't think that's what we're after here.
Well, until tonight, there was no mention of a 50% criteria. So that would have been a more than reasonable approach.
I'm going to defer this to Jimmy. Is this a case to where we can fix a house just enough to get it on the market and sell it, maybe cover up something that's not desirable, and pass this on to somebody that's not going to want this house, going to find the damage later on?
Well, I think you can secure a house, to whereby that it's not raining within it and everything. Now, whether it can be completely repaired, probably not. But if you could make it to whereby that it was not being rained in and so forth, and then, the stuff that was bad, where it was mold and that type of thing, and sheetrock was taken out of it, you could still have, if you can get the structure of the house and all put together and everything, then, I think that, there would be an opportunity for somebody to do it, but it would be as is.
So we would allow somebody to come in and secure the external structure of the house,
Well,
make it
particularly the
waterproof, and then it could be gutted inside
Yes.
for all they care, and then be able to put on the market? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions about Mr. Spell?
Mr. President, I do have a question for Mr. Vickers, Mr. Robinson. I would, as a matter of courtesy, I would like them to receive a copy of an estimate.
Sure.
That addresses bringing the residence up to a condition that it needs to be brought to. I would like them to receive a copy of that estimate.
Okay.
And I would also respectfully request, I think we have some graffiti issues on the home. I would like that to be addressed immediately so it doesn't quite affect the neighbors as much. If you would be open to accommodating that, I would greatly appreciate it.
I'll take care of that tomorrow morning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Spell. We have a motion to defer for 30 days by Mr. Spell and a second by Ms. Trimmy. Is there any other discussions by the jury? Hearing none, it'll be deferred for 30 days.
Thank you for your
Sergeant,
time.
We appreciate you coming. Thank you for your time. Just a point of clarification on that the agenda notes are a little bit different from what the actual pages are that we have. There was not a 7.2. So yeah, but it's not in the agenda. We just wanted to make that point of clarification for the record.
The books don't match the agenda.
Books, so we just wanted to make that record known. Thank you.
We're one number off.
Yeah, right now we're at 7.5. Mr. Robinson.
I thought he meant
We did 7.4.
7.4 on there.
7.5, we did 7.4. We're at 7.5.
What are we on now?
It's 7.5, but it's
7.4 on the agenda, but it's 7.5 on the book.
Go by the regular
We'll
agenda.
go by the agenda, 7.4. I don't mean to confuse everybody. I just want to make sure we're on track with what we're doing. Mr. Robinson,
All right.
7.4.
This is 4015 South Douglas Parkway in the Sulphur area. This is one house. The owner is James Ronald Tubbs, Ed Ucks. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Move to condemn.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Fordham and a second by Mr. Hassan. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak on this item? Please come forth. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Please come forth. Hearing none, move on to item 7.5.
3927 Opelousas Street. This is in the East Lake Charles area. It's one manufactured home. The owner is Marion Esprit, Ed Ucks. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Collins and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, motion passed. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Please come forward. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Moving on to item 7.5?
7.6.
7.6.
All right, 7.6 is 4017 South Douglas Parkway. This is in the Sulphur area. It's one house. The owner is Cleveland John Collins, Jr. We recommend this structure be condemned and
Move to
removed in 30
condemn.
days.
I have a motion by Mr. Fordham. I have a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Please come forward. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Please come forth. Move on to item 7.7.
This is 2506 May Street. This is in the Westlake area. There's one house. The owner is Donald E. Burnsworth. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
I have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item tonight? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this item tonight? Hearing none, moving on to item 7.8.
This is 3648 North Claiborne. This structure has been taken down day before yesterday, so there's no further action required on this one.
Okay, thank you. Moving on.
12.
That's all of those. All right, we're going to move on now to item number 12. Receive report from staff regarding River Bluff Park property in Ward 1. Mr. Beam.
Thank you, Mr. President. Back on February the 4th, Police Jury approved a timeline for this project for the property that you purchased up in Ward 1, and there was that was formally adopted, and you appointed a task force at the time, and you also went through the design firm solicitation and selection of that process. Since that time, of course, the economic situation has continued downward for the most part. And in addition to that, May 1st, with the failure of the courthouse and jail tax, which comes into the general fund, which also funds parks maintenance, it's caused us to want to reevaluate where we go with that at this time. And so we met with the liaisons for the park, Mr. Spell, Mr. Collins, Ms. Trimmy, and to discuss that recently regarding what direction to take. And I'll defer to Mr. Spell on that, to just on the outcome of that and what we recommend at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Beam. Thank you, Mr. President. And as Brian said, myself and colleagues, Mr. Collins and Ms. Trimmy, with the demand on the general fund, it was our discussion that the fiscally responsible thing to do would be to place the commencement of design on this park, to place it on hold for 6 months until we can get the Ts crossed and the Is dotted on our budget process, and then make a decision on the path forward after that point. So on behalf of the liaison group, it is our recommendation to the jury that we hold design for a period of 6 months once that process is complete. On a second note, I would say that I think this is an incredible project. It has economic impact to the community and the parish, and personally it would be my hope that this is only a delay. And I think that we should still be excited about this project and look forward to continuing the project at a later date once our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. With that said, Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Spell. Mr. Bean.
And let me just add in that there'll be informal discussions between the staff and the consultant to share ideas. So the ideas will keep flowing, as well as the task force that you appointed. Of course, they would be notified directly about the decisions you make tonight. So we will make sure that happens.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. Can I get a motion to receive report?
Don't move.
I have a motion by Dr. Mack and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Do we need to take any action on deferring for?
I think it would be good to go ahead and for a
I
second.
would move
Mr.
to
Spell's
hold on
motion.
schedule for a period of 6 months.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Spell and a second by Ms. Griffin. Thank you. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item number 12 passes. Item number 13, consideration of adopting a
Move to
resolution
defer for
indicating
30
objection,
days.
no objection to
Second.
the following proposed project in Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana, provided that said works meet with the rules and regulations of the Corps of Engineers, best management practices during the course of construction set forth by the Environmental Protection Agency guidelines. I have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion?
And when I say 30 days, I'm actually talking about the police jury meeting on July 22nd. So that's when it will be brought up, July 22nd police jury meeting, or move to defer to July 22nd. Thank you,
Mr. McMillan moved to defer for July 22nd. It is, Mr. McMillan?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 13 passes. Item number 14, take appropriate actions on the revision of RZ 04-018-08 Wood
to
Drive
defer to
in
July
Ward
22nd.
4, which is a request by Mr. Charles Atherton to amend stipulations 1 and 2. Mr. McMillan asks that it would be deferred for 30 days. I have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Ms. Till next? Till July 22nd. I have a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 14 passes. Item number 15, take appropriate actions on RZ 01-006-1.
Stipulations.
0212 East Telephone Road in Ward 1, which is a request by Ready, Set, Grow Learning Center to rezone from R2 mixed residential to C3 central business commercial to allow a daycare. I have a motion by Mr. Spell and a second by Mr. Scott. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 15 passes.
Move on
Item number
16.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew Point. Consideration of adopting a resolution approval of an amendment to the cooperative endeavor agreement between the police jury and the State of Louisiana Department of Natural Resources for the 2010-2011 Calcasieu Parish Local Coastal Program. I have a motion by Mr. Andrew Point and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item number 16 passes. Item number 17, consideration of adopting a resolution in support of the Southwest Louisiana Economic Development Alliance efforts to coordinate grant funding from the U.S. Department of Transportation for the Transportation Investment Generating Economic Recovery. I have a motion by Mr. Andrew Point and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, item number 17 passes. Item number 18.
Move on 18.
I have discussion. I'm sorry, Mr. Spell.
Question.
I have discussion on 17.
I'm sorry, Mr. President.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
Question on 17, authorizing the Alliance to act as the managing agent of said grant program. Could you explain exactly
I
what
think
they're
Ms.
managing?
Wallace, I think
Yeah, Jennifer can explain
Ms.
it.
Wallace is here. She can enlighten us on that. Ms. Wallace, would you please come to the mic, please? State your name and position here with the parish. Thank you, Ms. Wallace.
I'm Jennifer Wallace, and I'm an Assistant Director of Planning here. Could you repeat the question for me?
Ms. Wallace, it says act as the managing agent of said grant program. I
Number
guess
17.
My question
Yes.
is,
Wallace.
does that mean that they are assigning priorities to transportation projects, allocating where the funds go for which project? Exactly what are they managing?
Just the actual application. The application originated out of Jeff Davis Parish because they are trying to get some rail lines in there so they can export some textiles and cotton products and things like that. And the project just grew, and now it encompasses actually 16 parishes in Louisiana. And I think that they're also in discussions with some counties in southeast Texas. So the Alliance is just heading up the actual application process.
And if the application is approved, where does it go from there? Who's pulling the strings?
We have a long way to go for that.
Okay.
This is actually going to be a pre-application that's going to be submitted next month. And then if that gets through the next hurdle, then the Alliance would come back to us and start talking about what actual projects we would have and what our role would be and things like that. So it's very early in the process.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Sparrow. Is there any other comments by the jury? Thank you, Ms. Wallace, for your time. Moving on to item number...
Move on 18.
18. Thank you, Ms. Trimmy.
Moved off second. Elizabeth moved. No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy. Consideration of adopting a resolution in support of the reduction in the federal moratorium in deepwater drilling in the Gulf of Mexico for 6 months to no longer than 30 days, and further that this resolution be forwarded to the Police Jury Association of Louisiana for dissemination to President Obama, Louisiana Governor Jindal, and members of the Louisiana Congressional Delegation. We do have some speakers on this item. Mr. Brame.
Thank you, Mr. President. Brian, can you tell me when President Obama's order halting work on 33 exploratory wells in Deepwater began, what the date was?
I do not know that off the top of my head. What? May 27th.
Issued the moratorium.
Thank you, Kathy.
Moratorium 27, May 27th.
So this, supporting this for 30 days instead of 6 months would be till June 27th?
Yes. This is actually passed, and Ms. Trimmy may elaborate, the Police Jury Association.
I'd just like for the record that I don't support any moratorium at all. But if I'm not going to go against the jury if we're going to support a 30-day instead of a 6-month. I'll go with that as long as it ends on June 27th. That's why I wanted to know about the date, if it was from today or backdated. So, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ms. Trimmy.
Yes, this resolution has been passed by almost all the parishes in the state of Louisiana, and it came to the executive board that Francis and I serve on at 9:30 Friday morning, and we had discussion. There were people there. I know you saw John Young on CNN last night. He's on our executive board. He's from Jefferson Parish. They feel like the 6 months they're going to pick up and leave, and we're going to be out not 20,000 jobs, but maybe closer to 300,000 jobs in this part of our state. And the 30 days was to give the government a chance, the MMS or whoever has to go on these drilling rigs and give them an all clear on make sure all safety rules are being followed. That's what the 30 days were for, to give them a chance to give these rigs an all clear and then raise the green flag for them to continue on. 30 days, they can start back up. 6 months, Louisiana, as we know it, as an oil and gas revenue our state receives, and everything that we know as we've been raised all of our life with oil and gas. And we know that it's very important to our economy. Will be in a distant sunset. So this is all about us fighting to survive. That's what this is about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy. Mr. Hassan. You didn't have anything? Is there any other jurors that would like to speak on this? Stand your point.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, there's a lot of hype and emotion about the catastrophic situation in the Gulf. And while it's tragic, if you go back and you listen to what these people who are responsible for this tragic incident reports, over the years, 43,000 wells have been drilled in the Gulf of Mexico. One mishap, of course. It'd be better if we didn't have any. And I'm going to step out on a limb for just a minute. While it's tragic, I think the media tries to make more of it than it really is. Now, to minimize it, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, and I spoke to a gentleman this morning who has a 50-foot shrimp boat, and they have been basically put out of business. I don't mind telling you who it is, Andy Phipps, Kenny Phipps' dad. And they're expecting and hoping that they can get some funds to help pay their employee or his employees that work on the shrimp boat. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. All I'm saying is that knee-jerk reaction is not the answer from the federal government. I think that, and Sandy's right on target, 30 days, I think, to reevaluate the situation in the Gulf is sufficient. 6 months, folks, going to be a lot of people out of work. A lot of innocent people aren't going to be able to pay their bills. And so that being said, Mr. President, I think that we need to move with caution on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Ms. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm glad to see this was brought to our attention. Now, while I have some concerns about it, and my dear friend, Mr. Andrepont, I don't think it was a knee-jerk reaction. I think it was trying to fit in the future with what happened to us in the past, which this tragic is in the past. So we have to move forward in the future and try to make the best of it. But what concerns me is the different reactions, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to stop. In reference to the media is what makes and breaks any individual or organization depending on what they feel. So we could believe what we hear, we could take that into consideration, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's intelligence and it is intellectual functioning with the right, reasonable answers that solve problems. I appreciate that. I would like to see this go through because I'm against any, moratorium that will prevent our people in the state of Louisiana from progressing.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Mr. McMillan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do agree with my colleagues that it is to have a moratorium on deep water drilling is something that's going to affect us tremendously throughout Louisiana and all the United States, as well as our parish also. I think 30 days, I would like to see an immediate drop of this moratorium in our, maybe make it a little tougher. I know that the state was saying 30 days, and that's to get the safety regulations back into effect. But the quicker we can do this, the better it's going to be for all Louisianians. So I'm thinking, is it something that we have to do at 30 days, or can we get it down to immediate? And I think that's what Mr. Brain was echoing a while ago, and I would echo the same thoughts. I think immediate removal of the moratorium on deep water drilling is something we need to send a resolution of support wholeheartedly from this jury.
Thank you, Ms. McMillan. Ms. Trimming.
Can I say something? This was passed by St. Bernard Parish, Jefferson Parish, all the parishes, Plaquemines Parish, all of the parishes that are being affected. This is the exact resolution. I wouldn't want to deviate from what all of the parishes that are being affected have done and then come back with something other than following their lead because they're in the middle of it. And also, this is the other parishes that have been represented that have done this has adopted the same one. Now, what we can do is, just pass this resolution, and then on the same note, with a letter that this parish can attach, that we want to start drilling we don't want drilling to stop, period, and to continue on. I agree with my colleague, Hal. I don't know why they said 30 days. I think they should have just said, you know, don't just keep going. I mean, 30 days doesn't make any sense to me either.
Thank you. Ms. Trimmy,
So
one thing I
whatever
would like
you would
to
like
say
to do.
is when we had the mine disaster, that was very tragic and lives were lost. But we didn't shut down mining
I agree.
in West Virginia, and I don't see why we're shutting down deep water drilling in Louisiana and off the coast here. So I think as quick as we can get this back is what we need, and some type of immediate action needs to be done. That's what I'm asking this jury. Just change it from 30 days to immediate. I know down there they have a resolution in place, and they're all doing it, but it doesn't hurt to try to get ours in as quickly as possible to make sure that the President of the United States understands the urgency that this puts on the state of Louisiana. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Mr. Brain, I'll come back to you, Ms. Griffin.
Just to address my colleague, Ms. Trimmy, does the moratorium that's already in effect now, I guess my question is the 30 days.
Well, you know, I don't really know the date and time situation. I think this actually will be immediate because the moratorium was
I think it was put on May 27th, if I'm not.
put into about a month ago. So, so what this is asking is that what the one that they made in May, that it would be over. In other words, in a 30-day period. So that's what I understand, but whatever way we want to word it, I think we all have the same feeling. We're all for this. So there's really, we don't really need to get technical or whatever. So if you want to say, to put it immediate instead of the 30 days, my guess is the 30 days is probably passed and we're moving on to a different deal. So whatever you want to do.
Is there anything else, Mr. Brown, that you? Okay, thank you, Ms. Brown. Ms. Griffin.
I appreciate you recognizing me. Miss, in reference to the Police Jury Association coming up with this and bringing this before us, and so many other parishes are involved, I don't think it would be good if we would go solo and ask for something else. I think we should be all on one accord and unified with this. And something tells me, as well as I'm sure everyone else in here, everybody in America knows the urgency of this. It's just that we have to go by a way to make sure we get something done. And I will be against defining a different date when we have other parishes that's in agreement to send this off at the same time. That's my opinion. If necessary, I want to vote on it.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Mr. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with Ms. Griffin. We need to just stick with what's there and everybody stick together instead of sending out a different message. Because I think it's the same thing anyway. Like you said, the 30 days is up. It doesn't matter. And one other thing, Ms. Griffin, I don't know why he's not recognizing you tonight. I've noticed that. There's been two or
We'll
three.
see about it in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'll
help you keep an eye on it.
Please work with me, Ms. Griffin. It's been a rough night. Please
Well,
work with me.
I'll make the motion to pass it
Second.
is.
I have a motion by Ms. Trimmy and a second by Mr. Landry. We have discussion. Mr. McMillan.
I like Ms. Trimmy's idea about sending a letter with the resolution that as immediately as we could do this. I mean, I don't think anybody would have any problem with a letter added into that.
I'll make that a part of my motion.
Okay, that'd be great.
And in big fonts. I mean, as big as your computer can make.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay?
Trimmy.
Like a billboard.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy. Mr. Brain.
I support the resolution. I just wanted to clarify the date. I didn't want it to be 30 days from today, but if it goes, I'm good with that.
Thank you, Mr. Brain. Is there any
Mr.
other discussion?
President, it says no longer than 30 days, so I think what Hal's saying would be perfectly fine, just say as soon as possible. But just to be consistent with the rest of the state, I think it'd just be more effective and send a more
Thank you,
consistent
Mr. Brain.
message.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 18 passes. Thank you very much. Number 19, consideration of adopting a resolution approving a request by the city of Lake Charles and
Move on
the police jury and
19.
the city to enter into a joint service agreement between the police jury to utilize the quick take authority to expropriate right-of-way. I have a motion by Ms. Griffin and a second by Mr. Andrew Point. Is Is there any discussion?
Discussion.
We have discussion. Ms. Griffin.
I need some more information on this. Who is able to present that to this jury, please?
I probably can, Ms. Griffin. These are the last two of the quick take borrowing that the city will ask us to do because their own quick take, which mirrors ours, is going through the legislature as we speak. And these came to me from Billy Lofton, and they're for two relatively small projects. One is a water line up on Fritzenrider, which is the next one. This one has to do on Enterprise Boulevard. And we're just doing what we've done in the past to assist them because they don't have the right to quick take, which is it becomes the property of the parish the minute that we file this, and then we deed it to the city. They pay everything. They have the attorney. It doesn't cost us a dime.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Is there any other discussion? Any other objection? Hearing none, item number 19 passes. Item number 20, consideration of adopting a resolution approving a request by the City of Lake Charles that the police jury and the city enter into a joint service agreement for the police jury to utilize its quick take authority to expropriate right-of-way. I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Mr. Landry. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 20 passes. Item number 21, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the renewal of a joint service agreement between the police jury and the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office for the maintenance of the Calcasieu Correctional Center. I have a motion by Ms. Griffin and a second by Mr. Size. Is there any discussion? Any objection? We do have discussion. Ms. Griffin?
I have a question. Why is it that we have to do any maintenance when they're already in our budget? Why can't they do their own maintenance?
Well, Ms. Griffin, this is an agreement that actually goes back to the 90s, whereby it just made more economic sense for us, or the police jury as the owner of the correctional center, to, in essence, contract out to the sheriff's office to do the maintenance. The cost has to be there, but it's more cost-effective to do it this way. So it actually goes back a good while, and there's just a few updates to some of the language. It was getting sort of dated on some of the wording.
You know what kind of money we're talking about?
This actually is $528,000 per year, which for a building that size, which includes the administrative office, is well within the indexes for maintenance of those type facilities.
So in effect, it would be more feasible if we would do it this way rather than adding this money into their budget so that they could do that? Or is it just because that we are obligated by the state to take care of this ourselves?
Well, yes, we're obligated, and this is more effective versus if we had to send our own people out every day and take care of it. It made a lot more sense for.
So that is in conjunction and in addition to what is in the budget yearly for the sheriff department. Is that correct?
Well, it's actually, they receive it, if that's what, yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Is there any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 21 passes. Item number 22, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the renewal of a joint service agreement between the Police Jury, Department of Animal Service, and Adoption Center and the town of Vinton to provide code enforcement of all state and local ordinance related to animals, with the exception of livestock and wildlife. I have a motion by Mr. Landry and a second by Mr. Scott. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 22 passes. Item number 23, consideration. We have discussion?
It was Mr. Hassan made the motion, sir.
Mr. McMillan, you're going to have to. Okay, you can't be talking while I'm.
Just do your thing, baby.
Item number 22, consideration of adopting a resolution. 23, I'm sorry. 23. Item number 23, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the renewal of a joint service agreement between the Police Jury, Department of Animal Service, and Adoption Center in the town of Iowa to provide code enforcement for all state and local ordinance related to animals, with the exception of livestock and wildlife. I have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Mr. Stelly. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 23 passes. Item number 24, consideration of adopting a resolution approving a contract between the Police Jury and Sam East Construction for electrical and water service connections for the newly relocated RV camping area at Intercoastal Park. I have a motion by Mr. Hassan and a second by Mr. Fordham. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 24 passes. Item number 25, consideration of authorizing the parish purchasing agent to advertise
Move on
for
25.
request for
Second.
proposal for auction services for the Road Home Corporation Louisiana Land Trust properties located in Calcasieu Parish. I have a motion by Mr. Andrew and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 25 passes. Item number 26, consideration of authorizing the parish administrator to advertise for bids for the construction of building modifications, multi-agency resource center at the Office of Juvenile Justice Service. I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 26 passes. Item number 27, consideration of authorizing the parish administrator to advertise for bids for the Calcasieu Correctional Center
Second.
and CPSO Administration Building Boiler and Chiller Replacement Project. I have a motion by Mr. Collins and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item number 27 passes. Item number 28, consideration of authorizing the parish purchasing agent to advertise for mosquito control solvents with unit price effective from July 23, 2010 until December 31st, 2010. I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item number 28 passes. Item number 29, take appropriate action on a request for proposal received by the parish purchasing agent on May 13, 2010 for emergency response products and services. I need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Ms. Griffin. Is there any discussion? We do have discussion. Ms. Griffin.
What is emergency response products and services? Would someone answer that for me, please?
I can let Alan get into detail on what it is.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Griffin, this is a number of things. It's a very wide contract. It could be anything from food to showers to just supplies. These are the things that we need in bulk. A lot of times they're not readily available in an emergency. So it's a wide range of things. Could be a generator, could be even a service to some degree.
I have an idea what you're talking about. So my next question is, these are supplies that we will need in case of an emergency, such as a hurricane?
Yes, ma'am.
So am I safe to say that we're making preparations for the season?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that safe?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Mr. Landry.
Is this a local company, or where are these folks from?
This is a DRC. They have a corporate office in New Orleans. This is the same company that handles our debris pickup also.
So are they a Louisiana corporation and company, or are they not?
I would say they're a national company. They just have a Louisiana corporate office.
So they have an office here. Or in New Orleans, you said.
Mr. Landry, these types of firms, due to the nature of their business, are mostly regional. When I say regional, like Southeast U.S. or national, because they have to be able to go anywhere with a lot of brokered supplies. So this is one of those that you're going to get these kind of responses on this size job. These would not be utilized in smaller type disaster. Well, that's an oxymoron, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beam. Thank you, Mr. Landry. Is there any other discussion? I'm sorry, Mr. Spell.
Make sure I'm clear. This is, you said bathrooms, fire extinguishers?
These kind of companies can provide a wide range of resources, which you will need sometimes in a hurricane. We've learned that. So lots of times, for instance, in Hurricane Rita, one of the things we needed was shower facilities, laundry facilities. So these kind of companies can provide those type portable facilities. They could provide you a potable water source, all the way down to very small commodities like food, batteries, everything. They're sort of A to Z type companies that can get the types of supplies that you need to respond well to an emergency.
If I may, Mr. President?
Go ahead, Mr.
No one locally that can provide that need?
They would most likely get every available supply they could locally. Oftentimes in these type of things, you need to go further than that. If you remember Hurricane Rita, a lot of the places initially when you need some of this actually closed. So these guys can help you pull off recovering from a disaster, and they will use all the available local resources they can.
Well, if I can, point of clarification, a lot of businesses were closed because they were told to be closed. I know that there were a lot of businesses that would have liked to have been open, participating in recovery efforts, but weren't given the option. I have no objections, Mr. President. I'd like to see more effort in the future on local assets being utilized in emergencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spell. Mr. Bean.
Just sort of add what Alan was saying. It is a permissive contract in the sense, of course, it's if you need any of these things, and it is not exclusive. So there were some in Rita, and in all likelihood, we would want to try to get things locally if it's available. It's things that aren't available locally that because of it's just not, they don't carry them around here, especially in those situations. So we certainly are going to look for local opportunities, and this will not prohibit that.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. Is there any discussion? Any other objection? Hearing none. Item number 29 passes. Item number 30, take appropriate actions on bids received by the parish purchasing agent on May 27, 2010 for concrete pipe with unit price effective from July 1st, 2010 until December 31st, 2010. I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Mr. Landry. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item number 30 passes. Item number 31.
Move on 31.
Take appropriate actions on bids received by the parish purchasing agent on June 16, 2010 for Calcasieu Parish Project number 2010-09, overlaying of various roads in Calcasieu Parish. There were 3 bids that were turned in. Those 3 bids were RE Height Construction, Set Development, Prairie Contractors. The staff recommend that the low bid in the amount of $1,980,306 of RE Height Construction be accepted. I have a motion by Ms. Trimmy and a second by Mr. McMillan. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. Item number 31 passes. Number 32 is an advised item that the police jury, in partnership with the Arts and Humanities Council of Southwest Louisiana, will host the inaugural Arts and Craft Experience to be held on August 7, 2010 at the beautiful Prairie Lake Park. Is there any other add-ons or any deletions at this point? At this point, let me take a point of personal privilege. We received a letter from our parish secretary, Ms. Jessica, stating that Mr. Claude vital signs were good. He was up, he was coherent as to what was going on, and we just want to say to everybody, we thank you for your prayers, and we just ask that you would continue to pray for Mr. Smart and his family. And at this point, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion by Dr. Mackey and a second by Ms. Trimmy. Now been adjourned.